Next type of test which is carried out on fermentation products is test for pyrogens. Whether the preparation under test is free from pyrogenic substances or not, it is tested by using this test. Pyrogens are the substances that cause rise in body temperature. This test involves the measurement of the rise of body temperatures of rabbits following the intravenous injection of a sterile solution of the substance being examined. That means the substance is prepared in a solution. Injection of that solution is given to experimental animals, that is rabbit. Then periodically their body temperature is recorded, whether there is any rise or not. This test is divided into two steps: preliminary test and the main test. Preliminary test is called as Shams test and the another one is main test. The sham test, it is useful for the selection of animals suitable for the main test. That means animals which are showing good response are selected for the main test. Nowadays, this test is not used in the industries because of some ethical reasons, and the use of animals in the industries is partially banned. So these types of methods are generally are not used nowadays in industries. This is how the test used to be done on the rabbits in an incubation chamber. The rabbits are caught into the traps like this. Main test also involves the injection of rabbits with the given preparation, and if there is no rise in body temperature, then the preparation under test, it passes the pyrogen test. But these types of tests are nowadays not used. So the test for pyrogens which is nowadays used in the industries is through endotoxin detection. So pyrogens are the substances that cause rise in body temperature. Endotoxin is an example of pyrogen that increases the body temperature. Endotoxins are the components of bacterial cell wall. So contamination, it can be detected through the indirect detection of these endotoxins in given preparation. So for the detection of bacterial endotoxin in the given preparation, the test which is used in industries is LAL test. LAL stands for Limulus amoebocyte lysate. So it is Limulus amoebocyte lysate test. Lipopolysaccharides are the endotoxins. We have learned about the composition of cell wall of gram-negative bacteria and gram-positive bacteria. So if you recall the structure of gram-negative bacteria, we'll find that the structure of this gram-negative bacteria, the outermost membrane, it consists of an outer membrane, and that outer membrane is a phospholipid bilayer in which lipopolysaccharides are embedded along with certain proteins. So endotoxins are the components of gram-negative bacterial cell wall which are responsible for, you can see this is the structure of gram-negative bacterial cell wall, and it is a lipid bilayer, the outermost membrane. So above cell membrane there is a layer of peptidoglycan, thin layer, and then there is outer membrane, which is which consists of this outer membrane. These are the lipids. These are the phospholipids, and this is lipopolysaccharide, and these are integrated proteins, so transport proteins. This is the structure of lipopolysaccharide. It consists of O polysaccharide, oligosaccharide, then core polysaccharide here, and then at the bottom there is lipid A along with fatty acids here. Then the lysate which is used in this test is derived from the washed Atlantic horseshoe crab. This horseshoe crab is called as Limulus polyphemus. This Limulus polyphemus, it contains a body fluid, that is the blood, and this blood consists of cells. These cells are called as amoebocytes. These cells are called as amoebocytes. So this amoebocyte containing preparation, it is called as lysate. So lysate is the blood or amoebocyte containing preparation derived from this horseshoe crab, that is Limulus polyphemus. This is the picture of that horseshoe crab. You can see this because of the shape of this, it is called as horseshoe crab. This is how it looks like from the bottom. It has a tough shell and body at the bottom. What do you note here? This is how the crabs are getting bleeded. That means their blood is getting removed. You can note here, what you can note here, that it the color of the blood, you see this, the color of the blood is blue. So interestingly, the color of this horseshoe crab is blue. So this is how the horseshoe crabs are bleeded, and after bleeding they are returned back to the pond containing seawater. That means they are not dead. This is how the horseshoe crabs are being bleeded. So researchers maintain that it is virtually harmful to the animals. Horseshoe crabs can give blood up to 4 times a year. This means that these horseshoe crabs are cultivated in a protected environment, and they are not killed or they are not dead after one time bleeding. There is an interesting history behind the discovery of this LAL test. This history is related to an epidemic of crabs. So as we understand, epidemic means it is the spread of disease in a particular population. So this disease is restricted to a particular group of individuals. So this epidemic, due to this epidemic, the crabs in a particular area, they were found dead, and after their death they were settled at the bottom of the sea. Scientists were trying to find out what may be the reason for this mass mass death of the crabs. Dr. Levin and Dr. Bank, they found that the crabs dead at seashore and deep sea as if due to an epidemic. When examined, they found that the crabs had died due to intramuscular blood clotting. It was a very interesting observation, and very soon they came to know that the the that they were infected with gram-negative bacteria. So the possible relationship between the blood clotting and presence of gram-negative bacteria, and also they also derived the biochemical mechanism of blood clot formation. It was studied by Dr. Wenger. He found that blood clotting occurred due to the presence of LPS endotoxin. That means gram-negative bacteria, they have an outermost membrane containing LPS, and it was responsible for the initiation of clotting process. So this LPS was responsible for activating a cascade type of reaction that leads to the clotting process. After these discoveries, this cascade was elucidated, which involves enzyme C, which is present in the blood of these animals, crabs. This enzyme C, it gets activated. So for its activation, it needs to come in contact with this endotoxin. So that leads to activation of enzyme C. Enzyme C then activates enzyme B. Enzyme B then targets enzyme A, which gets converted into active form of enzyme A. This enzyme A is responsible for conversion of pre-clotting enzyme to clotting enzyme. Then this clotting enzyme converts coagulogen, that is a protein, to coagulin, and this coagulin is responsible for formation of fibrous structure called as clot. This is the kit for LAL test, and these are the reagents. First one, LAL reagent, that is the amoebocytes, which is present in lyophilized form. Then in order to compare the results, there is a standard endotoxin preparation which acts as a control standard endotoxin from Escherichia coli. And third reagent is LAL reagent water, that is for the dilution purpose. So it is pure pyrogen free water required for the dilution of reagent and standard endotoxin. The test is very simple. Qualitatively, 0.1 ml of test solution, that is injectable or the fermentation product under test. It is mixed with 1 ml of amoebocytes, that is LAL reagent. This tube is then incubated at 37 degrees Celsius for 60 minutes on a stable vibration free platform. If the preparation contains this endotoxin, then it will activate the cascade in the LAL reagent, and ultimately it will lead to formation of clot. If it is free from endotoxin, then the preparation will remain in liquid form. This is a positive test. So this indicates the presence of clot. You can see even if the tube is tilted, inverted, still the clot is there. So that is the positive test. So presence of this clot indicates that the preparation under test, it fails the pyrogen testings. There is another method that measures the endotoxin qualitatively, called as chromogenic method. In this method, the final component in the cascade of the reaction of clotting, as we have seen in the figure of cascade, this coagulogen, will go back to this slide. So we'll see where this, yeah, it is here. This coagulogen, it is replaced by a chromogenic substance. Chromogenic means colored substrate. So development of change in color or development of color will indicate the presence of endotoxin. So this coagulogen, it is replaced with chromogenic substrate. So on the cleavage of this substrate, chromophore is released, means the color compound is released from the chromogenic peptide substrate, and it is measured spectrophotometrically. This is how the efficiency of the test, it can be increased, or the modifications can be done in order to improve the efficiency of this test. Like this coagulogen is replaced with chromogen, which gets converted into color substance, which is then measured by spectrophotometer, like this. Then the next test is the test for undue toxicity. Undue means harsh, life-threatening toxicity. So this test is useful to determine whether the preparation is free from these types of life-threatening toxic substances, or whether the preparation is itself has toxicity. So this test is again carried out using experimental animals. So the quantity of the substance to be examined is dissolved in 0.5 ml of WOI, that is water of injection, that is sterile and pyrogen free, or in saline, that is sodium chloride injection. So this preparation is injected intravenously into each of 2 healthy mice weighing around 17 to 22 grams. After injection, the animals are kept under observation. They are kept in a temperature controlled room which is clean, free from dust, and the interpretation of the results are done like this. The substance passes the toxicity test if the mice dies, if none of the mice dies within 24 or 48 hours, or in such time as is specified for each substance. If one of the animals dies, the test is repeated using 5 or 15 more healthy mice. The substance passes the test if none of the animals in the second group dies within the time interval specified. This is how the toxicity testings are done. The mouse is being inoculated in peritoneal cavity. Mouse are being inoculated and they are kept under observation for consumables the mouse is being feeded with this consumable fermentation product. They are kept under observation. This is quite irritant. You can see that this rabbit is one of the only victims of eye irritancy test. That means if the product is to test whether the product is harmful or not. In case of eyes, the substance is being injected into the eyes and then it is observed, kept under observation. And one thing is clear that after these types of toxicity testings are done, then these animals which are under test, these animals are sacrificed. That means, in other words, these animals are killed. Experimental animals are killed.